This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Maastricht edition live on Facebook. Tonight, we'll be joined with a lovely Chantal Spies, who'll be telling us all about her new book and what she's been up to during the lockdown. And of course, we will have our usual fun and games and tell you lots about what's been going on and what we've been doing too. So make sure you stay tuned and you can follow us on YouTube or Facebook. And please interact, send us your comments. We want to know what you think and we want to hear from you. So welcome, everyone, to the show. Guys, your mics.
Every week.
I keep forgetting that, don't I? Good evening, everybody. Your Dizzy Joe is here.
Yes.
Along with not so dizzy Tracy and not so dizzy Matt. Here we are at the Maastricht edition. Hello, good evening and welcome. Yes, we are back. And before we go any further, we do just want to explain, because it might be a little bit confusing, because we've actually been advertising that House of D were going to be here this evening. Denis, the owner of House of D, along with Michael, they were supposed to be joining us this evening. Unfortunately, they're both a little bit poorly. Nothing serious, so don't worry, but they couldn't make it this evening. So we have found last minute the lovely Chantal Spies, who you know used to work for us here at the Maastricht edition. She's going to be joining us later as a writer, because we're going to be talking about her book. It's all very exciting, Tracy.
It is. Well, it's always very exciting, really, Joe, isn't it? On the Maastricht edition. We should be the...
We did try and light a few fireworks.
Although that's forbidden now. Recent news posts.
Yeah.
No more.
I keep
Controversial to
hearing
say
it.
fireworks.
Yes, I am very, very happy about this decision. I'm going out on a limb and putting my flags to the post there because I think it's really, I feel that I'm a pet owner and it terrifies our little cat every new. And
so for those listeners who maybe aren't aware, the Prime Minister here, Mark Rutte, has announced that fireworks are banned from being sold, being bought, being used on New Year's Eve. That's coming up at the end of this year, which, as Tracy says, us who have pets, we're quite happy about that. Unfortunately, the flip side of this, there are going to be some protests, apparently. The best thing to do is go to RTV English News. Have a look. They're keeping us updated with what's going on with the protests, when they're going to be. It's going to be coming up, I believe, in the next few days. But have a look on their website, on their Facebook and Instagram feed, and you will see the latest about that, when it's going to actually happen. So there are going to be fireworks of sorts.
yes, indeed. Let's see.
Matt, how are you today?
I'm good. I had a Dutch lesson today. I got extra early at 8 a.m. for my lesson at 8 a.m. So normally I'm still in bed at 8 a.m.
That's half the day is gone, Matthew.
No. You need your sleep, especially in these dangerous times. You need to be well rested. So normally I'm still in bed. But this morning I got up quite early for me and had my Dutch lesson. And I won a good game because we played that game where you say 3 sentences and one of them's a lie. And even though I don't know the teacher that well, I won. I was very happy.
Well done.
Ah, well done, you. Good
So I'm a
day.
good liar.
Excellent stuff. Adina's in the house. She says good evening to us. Her beloved friends, isn't that sweet? Hello,
Oh.
Adina.
Hi,
Nice of you
Adina.
to join us. Well, do you know what? I think because lots of people are working from home at the moment, then maybe people are staying in bed that extra half an hour now, because really it's not a big commute to your desk, is it?
No, exactly.
That flight of stairs or down to the kitchen or so. It's, oh my God, such a drama. But maybe I'm a bit weird. I'm still getting up at like 6:30 in the morning. Am I strange?
I started doing that. And then I was like, well, it doesn't really matter now because I can start at the same time I normally would and finish at the same time I normally would. And I can get up. I suppose I could start earlier than finish earlier. There's always that.
That is, which is a good plan as well. You need to find what works for your...
Yes, exactly. I think everybody this year has been trying to find a way of how to work in this particular environment, because for a lot of people it's very stressful, isn't it, working from home? And for others, they're like, oh, this is lovely. I can work in my gym jams. I don't have to wear a bra. I just want to highlight, by the way, people, that, as I have said several times this year, I have actually been hosting here on the Maastricht edition without a bra.
Yeah.
However, this evening I am wearing a bra.
Well,
And
it's
that
great
is
to know. Great.
I'm not happy about it. The reason being is because we have a huge renovation going on here, and we've got lots of builders who are doing their thing in the renovation. Socially distanced builders, I hasten to add. But I thought it would be prudent for me to hoist the babies up, because it might be a little bit distracting, and I didn't want them running away screaming before they'd finished the job. So I'm being sensible and keeping them contained. But they left, and I didn't have a chance to take things off and let them run free. So yes, that will happen when the show is finished, and you will hear an audible sigh coming from Koningsbos.
Well, roll on 8 o'clock then. Good grief. And that sets us up very well for the evening, Matthew.
I don't understand. Why is it uncomfortable? Obviously, I've never worn one.
Maybe you've got the wrong kind of bra, Joe.
Well, that is possible. I don't know. I just find they just sort of, it's restrictive, and maybe something to do with me being a bit on the claustrophobic side as well. I just find it very, very restrictive, and it's just sort of, it's like, and the thing is, when you are a little bit bigger endowed, shall we say, the bra kinds of plants them here. And then you try to do certain things and they're in the way. Right. Where at least, I can't believe I'm having such a long conversation about my boobs here on the Maastricht edition. But I'm sure there is some like-minded people out there that understand what I'm saying. It's nice to have them free.
Right. She's like the Charlie Dimmock of the Maastricht edition. She also liked to have free boobs, didn't she?
I have a story about Charlie Dimmock, actually. Oh. So for those people out there who don't know who Charlie Dimmock is, there was a programme many moons ago on British TV. What was it called?
Ground Force.
Ground Force, that's it. And you do see Charlie Dimmock these days, actually. She is on...
new program.
Garden Rescue.
There you go. So Tracy Taylor knows everything about Charlie Dimmock's career, by the sound of it.
Gardening programs, dear.
Oh, just gardening programs. Fair enough. But anyway, look, I met the young Charlie about 15 years ago, something like that. I didn't meet her. There was a company I was working for. She was doing some big promotion thing, endorsing and whatever, the company I was working for at the time. And she walked into the room, and I looked at her, and of course everybody was waiting to see if she was wearing a bra or not. And she was wearing a bra, because under normal circumstances, anybody who had ever watched the programme knew that they were not contained at all, which was quite interesting when she was digging up a rhododendron. But yes, so.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to know what. I was going to say, shall we get back on track?
I don't even know what the track was. There was a track. I'm sure there was a track.
There is a track. The track is discussing with Matthew his review of your album from last week. Look what I did.
Going from one track to many tracks. There you go. Well done, Tracy. Thank goodness for bringing that in, because I'm exhausted with talking about boobs. So yes, let us crack on. Because it's time for Matt's review. Every week, either Tracy or myself will give Matt an album to review. Last week, I asked Matt to review Whitney Houston's debut album, which came out in 1985. This was the album that introduced us to Whitney Houston and her divine voice, and what led to an amazing career, of course. I wasn't 100% sure where you should be listening to this to. So first of all, before I ask you about the album, where were you when you were listening to it, Matt?
I was painting.
You were painting, yes. Now, we know that there's some decorating going on down your end. What were you painting?
I was painting my bedroom wall.
What colour?
Huh?
What colour?
Navy blue.
Interesting choice.
Well, I'm not painting the whole wall. I'm just painting like lines.
Remember, he told us last week about these lines that he saw on Pinterest.
Yes.
When it's finally finished, I'll show you.
Fabulous.
I'm sure it's going to look amazing. So you were listening to Whitney at the time. What did you think?
Well, I'll be honest. When you first told me you were going to send me a Whitney Houston album, I was like, oh no. Because I always feel a bit like, I don't know, it's not really my music at all. It's like very emotional.
Yeah.
It's all about like love and stuff. And I'm just like, But anyway, so I listened to the album and I was like, actually, I know most of these songs. And it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I did enjoy some of it. Though I still stand by that they can be a bit too like, I don't know, too emotional maybe. Like a lot of it's about like breakups or like that sort of thing. And I'm just like, I don't really want to listen to this now, but I don't know. Maybe if I was in a different mood. If I was in a breakup mood, I'm sure it'd be great.
Oh.
Well, I think for me and a lot of young girls, because I was 15 at the time when this album came out. So for me, I kind of swallowed it up whole because it was about love and relationships and finding the partner that's going to sweep you off your feet and all this business, you know. So, double that with this amazing voice, this gorgeous young woman who was just so sweet herself at the time, because she was very, very young when she brought the album out. So, yeah, it kind of suited me as a young girl, I suppose. But would it make you listen to later albums of hers, maybe, where she was more grown up and maybe talking about different things?
I don't think so. I think it's not the sort of music I enjoy listening to. I think if it came on, I wouldn't turn it off or anything, but I wouldn't like go and seek it out. I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know, maybe too dated. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Well, I'll be the first to say that I can understand from my perspective it was a bit of a nostalgia trip for sure. And certainly there's later albums of hers that I really, really like as well. But then she, as I said, she was more mature by then, and the lyrics had a different slant to them. Probably a bit more bitter and twisted by the time she got up into her 30s, for example. But I think that nevertheless, though, it certainly gave us an idea of what a tremendous talent that she was, because her voice was absolutely sublime, and it is very sad that we lost her so soon. So how many Matts would you give it out of 10 then, Matt?
I think I'd give it a 7.
Okay. Well, I'm happy with that. 7's good. That's okay. Do you know what, Tracy?
Yeah.
I think we're not doing too badly, because he hasn't done anything disastrous like a 3, for example.
No, yeah, the lowest so far has been a 5 out of 10, and for the rest we've had a couple of 7s and 8s, 1 9. Well, we're not doing too badly.
No, I think we're doing okay. So okay, that's good. So that was Whitney last week. This week is Tracy's choice. What have you got for him this week, Trace?
Oh, Matthew, I have high hopes for you that you'll like this album. I'm trying to redeem myself after the semi-failure of the Nick Cave suggestion. I am picking a band for you who are from Brighton in the United Kingdom. And the reason Brighton is on my mind is my dear dad is from Brighton, and it's his birthday on Sunday. And so I am not getting a flight to Ireland this weekend to be with him. So I thought, well, I'll pick a band that comes from his hometown. So I've chosen a band for you that were formed back in 2004. So not so long ago.
A new band.
A new band, and I've chosen their debut album. Now I didn't have much time to find the CD, but I have a screen grab of how it looks, so you know which one to find. And this is the debut album. It's called Inside Out, and it's from The Cooks. Can you see it?
Excellent.
I don't know if you can see it there.
No.
That's a very funky album. Thank you for your dabs. I got a thumbs down. That's all. A girl always likes. Always good. Have a listen, Matthew. Joe, I'm sure you know who the band is.
I do know the Cooks, and I saw them year before last, I think it was, at Pink Pop.
Wow, there you go. So they're still cracking on. I think they've had a few new members in the meantime, but the debut album, I played it. I thought I fell in love with it immediately. And it's one of these albums you play over and over and over again. It's got a very sort of, they are kind of tagged as an indie rock kind of band. They're quite funky. They're quite melodic. They've got a few ballads. They've got some upbeat stuff. For me, it's got a little bit of a 60s sound every now and again. The guy with this, the vocals. I really would almost guarantee you might like this album, Matthew.
No pressure. Okay.
The pressure. So I shall send it through to you so you know exactly which one and the playlist and so on. But that's my recommendation for you for next week. Inside Out, the debut album from the Cooks.
Oh,
excellent.
okay.
And do you have a recommendation as to where he should be when he's listening to it? I mean, I'm assuming at the moment that he's just going to continue painting till the end of the year.
Yeah, well, you could paint and have it on in the background, but for me, this is more of a kind of evening with wine and maybe in the kitchen cooking a little bit, something a bit more nice, a pleasant, fun thing. It's quite an upbeat album for the most part, but it will go with painting as well. Yeah,
excellent.
You like it?
Well, there you go. There is your album to review for next week. Good luck.
Cool.
I've already got in my mind actually something completely opposite to my Whitney choice of last week.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I'm going to go a bit angrier.
Oh, curious, Matthew. Yes. And there was me thinking, I've got a couple of ideas for the coming weeks ahead. I'm wondering, Joe, are we allowed to recommend a Christmas album? What do you think?
I thought, well, do you know what? I think we should, yes. But we're going to, well, you brought it up first, so I think you should recommend it. But I already have my firm favourite, but we'll discuss that at the time. I think that's a good idea. Yes, leading up to Christmas. Oh, poor Matt.
That's what it is.
Yes, we'll see. Everybody loves it.
I think that's a good idea. Anne is in the house. Good evening, Anne. Nice to have you with us. Hello.
Hello.
So, I was actually speaking earlier. I just wanted to mention this. I was speaking earlier with Sam from the Expat Centre, which is currently located in the Mosaic Forum, because there's several things going on at the moment with anybody who is British. Because, of course, with Brexit looming at the end, well, we're actually in Brexit, as it were, but of course, everything changes at the end of the year, and the UK is definitely out of the EU. So anybody who is British who is living here and is actually able to apply for residency, you need to get all of your details in. There's all these biometrics that need to be taken. So if you haven't done it yet, there's still time. And if you need some more information about that, you can also go on to, rather than the IND, which is immigration, you can actually speak to the Expat Centre. You can either go and speak to them in person at the Mosaic Forum, or you can just send a question on their website. They've got a really great contact form on there. You just throw your questions out. They will answer them very, very quickly. And Sam did actually give me some information that I just wanted to share with you. She did say that non-EU partners of British people must register before the end of the year. Otherwise, you're going to have to learn Dutch and do the Inburger test before getting permission to stay. So make sure that you get registered. British people also need to change their driving licenses before the end of the year, unless you are part of the 30% tax ruling. So make sure that you get your driving licenses changed. Also, anybody who is crossing borders, if you're living in Belgium or Germany, and you need to send in a form to be allowed to work in the Netherlands. Now, this is on the IND website. So go onto that website and fill out a form there. So if you're living in Belgium or Germany and you're coming into the Netherlands to work, you've got to, and you're British, that is, you're coming here to work, you've got another form to to fill out.
Yeah.
And that's just a few bits of information for you. We would like to get Sam on here soon to maybe talk about this in a bit more detail. But you can, as I say, you can contact them at the Expat Centre, either via the form on the website, or you can give them a call. There's always somebody to talk to there. So please do get in touch with them. They're a great place. It's in, as I say, the Maastricht Forum. Very, very informative. Lots going on over there as far as the biometrics is concerned. You can go in, get all that done as well. So get in touch.
Indeed.
I just thought I'd put that out there for you. So, and before we go on any further, I think somebody should ask me a question.
Oh, okay. Matthew, do you want to? Or I'll do it, Joe. Joe,
Go for it.
what do you know this week that you didn't know last week?
Well, it's funny you should ask me that, Tracy, because this is one that you are going to appreciate.
Ooh.
Did you know that nobody knows why cats wiggle their bottoms before they pounce?
Really?
Really?
Because our little Tubbs has been known to do a little bum wiggle, I must say, usually when he's chasing a leaf or Dave's foot. But, you know, I wonder, I always thought it was just that they were getting ready to push off.
Well, they are, but there's still no actual explanation as to why there's a little bit of a wiggle going on.
Oh, but cats are just so mysterious. We will never fully understand them, I think. Yeah.
And before we go, I'm going to stick with the animal world. Apparently, flirting wombats bite each other's bums.
Well, there you go. Well,
I also read about wombats that their bums are like really, really hard. So if they're trying to run away from something, they'll block their burrow with their bum.
Wow.
But like nothing can get through it because it's got really hard like bones or something in its bum. So that's the safest way for it to save itself.
I've been known to use my backside in emergencies as well, if I'm honest.
First the boobs, now the backside. Goodness, Joe. TMI.
I'm well proportioned, you see. You'll never see me blown over in a strong wind.
That's true. Well, you're blessed with an hourglass, dear. Embrace it.
Yeah. Is that why somebody's always trying to turn me upside down because of my hourglass figure? That explains a lot.
What you get up with your husband is only your business, dear.
Oh, yes, I let that slip, didn't I? So, I think it's probably time anyway for all of us to sort of calm down a little bit, relax, get into a Zen-like position, have the kettle on, put your feet up, let the whole of Maastricht, nay, in fact, the whole of the Netherlands,
The world!
the world come to a grinding halt, because it is time for this history. Oh, God.
It was quite coordinated. That was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Joe, I just have to say, how fabulous is Matt's hair?
Oh, absolutely.
Look,
Yeah.
when he lets it down.
I know.
I washed it this morning and there's everywhere.
You look like a rock star, dude.
Do.
Cool. Carry on, Joe.
Well, while Tracy's having a funny turn, it's Thursday, the 19th of November, and a lot has happened on this day. Mainly birthdays, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But to start off with, on this very day in 1863, US President Abraham Lincoln delivers his Gettysburg Address.
Wow.
And in 1872, E.D. Barber of Boston is awarded the first US patent for the first calculator.
Oh.
Adding machine capable of printing totals and subtotals. So not quite as advanced as our calculators are now, of course, but we wouldn't expect it to be. But that was in 1872. Now, here's one, which was obviously a very slow news day. On this day in 1879, the National Association of Trotting Horse Breeders determines what is a trotter.
Oh.
Right.
I'm not going to divulge any more than that. I'll just let that sit for a moment with you. What is a trotter? You would have to ask somebody at the Trotting Horse Breeders
I thought it
Association.
was like a pig thing.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because a trotter is actually the foot of a pig. But if you connect it to horses, horses that trot would be called a trotter.
Oh, okay.
I guess, but would they necessarily have trotters?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
No, horses do not have trotters. No.
This
So
could be
we're going to move on to that. But another slow news day, on this day in 1894, the first mushroom was produced on a stamp or printed onto a stamp
hurrah!
in China.
Oh.
Why they felt they had to put a mushroom on a stamp, I really don't know. But in 1894, that's where they went, in China. They put a mushroom on a stamp. In 1895, the following year, an American inventor by the name of Frederick E. Blaisdell patents the pencil.
Ooh, like a pencil.
I like a pencil. Well, yes, our Tracy, who has recently been doing a little bit of doodling and drawing, has been getting her pencils out and been producing some very nice pieces of work, actually.
Thank you, darling. It's more doodling than drawing, but thank you very much.
Well, you got a lovely doodle. A lovely doodle.
Another
Thank you very much.
Another T-shirt slogan. You've got a lovely doodle.
A lovely, right, make a note of that, Tracy.
I'm doing it.
You've got a lovely doodle. In 1906, London selected to host the 1908 Olympics. Now, I was thinking about this actually because we're in November and this is 1906, so that would only be 18 months away before they held the Olympics. These days, you find out sort of like 8 or 9 years ahead, don't you, or something? I mean, they give you an awful lot of warning. So obviously there wasn't many people competing or many countries competing in those days. In 1916, Samuel Goldwyn and Edgar Selwyn established Goldwyn Pictures, the company that later became one of the most successful independent filmmakers. And on this day in 1949, Prince Rainier III holds his coronation at, I nearly said Coronation Street. Held his coronation as the 30th ruling Prince of Monaco. In 1952, on this day, Spain joins UNESCO. And in 1965, on the 19th of November, Kellogg's Pop-Tarts were created. Now, 1965, I'm really surprised about that. I didn't think they were that old.
Really? Well, I guess they are. Isn't that fun?
They are, exactly. But really, people have been burning their mouths for a very long time.
Matthew just asked what a Pop-Tart is. I just...
Well, do you want the real?
It's not an American thing.
Give him the food, Joe, the food. Oh, God, carry on.
In 1969, Apollo 12's Charles Conrad and Alan Bean became the third and fourth humans on the moon. Isn't it a shame? I mean, for goodness sake, the third and fourth humans to actually land on the moon. Charles Conrad and Alan Bean. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows. I mean, it's such a shame. It really is. In 1979, on this very day, Chuck Berry is released from prison.
Ooh.
To be imprisoned for income tax evasion.
Yeah.
And in 1990, pop duo Milli Vanilli, Matt's bound to know who they are, are stripped of their Grammy Award after it is learned that they did not sing on their award-winning Girl, You Know It's True album. I remember this very well.
Me too. Yeah.
There was a think about that. In 1998, Vincent van Gogh's portrait of the artist without beard sells at auction for $71.5 million.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. And in 2017, how do I say this? Oumuamua is first detected by scientists. It's 400 meters long and it's reddish.
Oh,
and it's first known as the interstellar object in our solar system and of possible alien origin.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now, coming on to birthdays. Well, yeah, as I said, there's a lot going on. Now, if we go back 9 months from this very day, apparently it comes out to be around Valentine's Day. Well, there was a lot happening, I tell you. I had to actually narrow this list down. Hold on to your seats. We've got a long one here. In 1875, Hiram Bingham, who's the American archaeologist who rediscovered the Incan site of Machu Picchu, he was born. In 1917, Indira Gandhi, the fourth Prime Minister of India, was born. In 1933, Larry King, the American radio TV host, born in New York City. In 1935, Jack Welch, one of the most successful CEOs of all time of General Electric, GE, he was born. 1942, Calvin Klein, the American fashion designer, he was born in New York. 1961, Meg Ryan, the American actress, she was born in Connecticut. 1962, Jodie Foster, the American actress, born in California. And finally, 1976, Jack Dorsey, also born in this day, the American computer programmer who co-founded Twitter.
Wow.
Happy birthday, one and all.
Happy birthday.
Hope you're having a lovely day, whatever it is that you're doing. And anybody else there who's having a birthday. In this weekend, of course, Tracy.
Yes, I've got 2 birthdays. Sadly, I was due to be travelling to Ireland tomorrow for the weekend. Sadly, it's the 3rd trip this year that had to be cancelled. But I would like to send out 2 sets of birthday wishes. One to my dear sister-in-law, Eilish, who's having her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, darling. And also to my dear dad, who's having his birthday on Sunday. So luckily, all gifts and cards have already arrived safe and well and will be opened in due course. But sending lots of love and wishes to you both.
Excellent. Well, happy birthday, everybody. So that was this day in history.
Yes.
We're done. Ta-da!
Just like that.
Just like that. So coming up very shortly, Chantal Spies is going to be joining us. She's going to be talking about her latest book.
Yes.
But before that, I think it's probably time for Tracy and the news.
Yes.
Tracy Taylor and the news.
Thank you, Joe, and good evening, everyone. It's November 19th, and you're watching the Maastricht edition. First, a look at your weekend weather, and temperatures are going to be a little cooler in the coming days, with highs of 10 and the risk of freezing at night. We will also see a mix of sunshine, cloud, and rain. Moving to your news bulletin for tonight, the Outbreak Management Team is looking to limit the number of household guests per day to 6 over Christmas. The OMT advised the Dutch government to stress the risks of relaxing the coronavirus rules over the holidays. The government has not yet made a decision on how Christmas will look in relation to COVID-19 safety measures, but more information will come in early December. The Netherlands could oblige travellers arriving in the country to prove that they tested negative for the coronavirus no more than 48 hours prior. Due to the rules around free travel in the EU, a legislative amendment would be required. It is therefore expected that this new rule would only be implemented in the spring. In other news, threatening letters containing white powder was sent to 2 new locations in the Netherlands today. One letter was sent to an address in Amsterdam and another to a hospital in Roermond. One letter is now known to have contained a harmless quantity of pesticide, but police have declined to give more details as yet. And the Dutch cabinet has decided that no fireworks may be sold nor set off during New Year's Eve. This is largely due to COVID-19 and hospital visits due to firework injuries. That said, Dier and Ambulance Limburg South have said that they've received a message that on 20th and or 21st November at approximately 8 p.m, fireworks will be lit in protest across the country by pro-fireworks groups. So be alert, check online, and make sure your pet is in a safe environment. The Dutch are the best non-native English speakers in the world, according to the EF English Proficiency Index. The index based its figures on English test results of 2.2 million adults in 100 countries around the world. Denmark and Finland came in 2nd and 3rd place, respectively. Moving to local news, and an extra-large corona test location will be set up at the MEC shortly and will double the capacity in the whole of South Limburg. The usual PCR test will be performed and results will be available about 24 hours later. The location is expected to open on December 15th. And the Relaxed measures announced Tuesday means cinemas may again receive visitors. The Lumiere opened its doors again today, just in time for the start of the International Documentary Festival Amsterdam. Lumiere will screen 7 films, more details online. And Magic Maastricht may not be happening this year, but the city will still be lit up in honour of the festive season with an extra special magical light route. There will be additional space arranged so you can take your time discovering the city in a socially distanced way. The magical light route starts November 27th. And finally tonight, a tiny sea-wet owl is recovering at a wildlife centre in New York after it was discovered clinging to the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The feathered stowaway, now named Rockefeller, was given fluids and all the food he could eat and is in great shape considering his adventurous journey. He is also impossibly cute. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limburg Facebook page, a joint initiative between #Maastricht and the Maastricht Edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, maastrichter.com, to check out their awesome calendar of events. You can also follow them on social media, but keep in mind COVID-19 measures do apply. And don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Reddit and on Instagram. For all the details, check out the maastrichtedition.nl.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much, Tracy.
Thank you, darlings.
Nicely done.
Where did the owl come from?
Sorry, Matt?
The owl. Well, apparently they were bringing this giant Christmas tree, and they bring it from someplace outside of New York City in New York State onto Nootka or something, and it travels 270 kilometers. So they had this giant tree, and when they were putting it up at Rockefeller Center in New York, the guys found the little owl inside.
Wow.
Oh my God, they saw them, and they're teeny tiny. They're about really small, 18 centimeters high. So they took them to this rehabilitation center, and he's all safe and well, and now he's called Rockefeller, which is quite sweet.
Oh, cute.
I'm a sucker for a cute animal story. What can I say?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Anything small and fluffy or feathery, then yes, I'm there. I just wanted to show you something because for those people out there who maybe follow me on Instagram, you know I do a little bit of baking every now and then. And I was having a play around at the weekend because I had somebody I had to bake a cake for. And I did a little bit of experimenting because I wanted to create these ice sugar sugar structures. So when you melt sugar and then it turns into like a glass formation kind of thing. And I managed to make something that sat on top of a cake. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see pictures of it. But because while I was experimenting, I had a few left over, and so I just thought I'd show you these.
No,
so basically,
I
know, yes, it's kind of big, isn't it? So this just comes from melting something called isomalt, which is a fructose. It's a sugar that you melt, and you can add some colour to it, and then you pour it onto a silicone mat, and then you hang that over some kind of erection, if you will, and let it drip down. So it was actually like this at one stage, dripping down the side of a bottle of water that I had, and then I peeled away the silicone, and this was what I was left with. So it's like having a glass bowl, you see.
I was going to say. You could put
fancy label.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre, and I did a few of them. Here's another one that's got all silvery bits on it, but again, it's like a bowl. It's like a glass bowl. Oh, the fun that I have had.
Joe, will that not disintegrate with time?
Well, actually, there is another one that I did make that I picked up today. It was the first one I made, and this one was just experimenting without any colour in it. And unfortunately, yes, it does break after a while. Not much of this one left. That one broke. But well, I mean, if you look after them and just sit them in a corner, then probably I think they'll be fine. But they start off very sticky, and then they seem to lose their stickiness. But you know, if you want like a little temporary little bowl,
Christmas decoration.
exactly.
Matthew.
Exactly. And then if you've got a very sweet tooth, you can suck on it afterwards if you want. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, indeed.
But,
Too much sugar.
but it's possible. Peter's with us in the house. Good evening, Peter. Nice to have you with us. And you're just in time, Peter, because I believe it is time for us to invite our guest onto the show. So this young lady used to work with us here at the Maastricht edition. She has gone off now to her writing career, which is blooming, as it were. She started off with the book Magic, which came, I'll have to ask her actually when it came out. It did come out a few years ago. Oh, look, Matt's got his copy. She's going to be coming on this evening to talk to us about her latest book. Well, there's two books actually that she's got going on at the moment. Tracy's got one of them. I know you've got one in your hand there. Yeah. I've got the other one. And here she is. Here she is, the lovely Chantal Spies. Oh, hold on. We need to change you around a little bit, don't we? Because there she is. Oh, we've got a lovely picture of you there. No, good. The ceiling was lovely, Chantal. Honestly, you've got a very nice ceiling, but that's better if we can look at you. Can you hear us? Oh. We can't hear you. Hold on.
It's that pesky mute button again, Joe.
This worked so well in the sound check an hour ago. Can you hear us all right, Chantal? No, we still can't hear you. Oh, she's disappeared.
Oh dear. Oh gosh.
Okay. Hopefully we will be able to get her back again.
Sometimes dialing in a second. Actually, we should probably tell people who were tuning in to hear Denis from #Indeed that unfortunately Merchandise House of D won't be joining us this evening, but we do hope to have them on another time so we can chat.
Yes, and of course House of D have got this fantastic company where you can buy lots of merchandise and interesting stuff. And we got Chantal back. Can you hear us, Chantal? We can't hear you. I don't know what's happened. And
no.
We're kind of looking at you like that now.
It's that landscape portrait thing, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It needs to be landscape.
Not portrait.
Not portrait. Landscape. Not portrait.
Oh,
well, she's disappeared again. Oh, goodness me. Hopefully we shall get it back shortly.
Third time lucky.
You can ask me a question. I've got a fact.
Oh, go on then. Matt, what do you know this week that you didn't know last week?
Did you know that mussels produce pearls? As in like the shellfish.
Oh.
Not like these ones.
Not like your guns that you've got there.
No, exactly.
Matt. No. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you buy them in the supermarket or wherever, sometimes they can have pearls in them, like really small ones. So you could also just accidentally eat them, but they're really small. And there was this news article about this family who had like a big box of mussels, and they'd found like 5 or 6 different pearls, like various sizes, in these mussels. Like actual pearls, like you could use them as jewelry.
What did they do with them? Did they sell them?
No, apparently they're not very valuable because they're too small.
Oh, I see. Poor things.
Okay, we've got Chantal is back with us. Can we hear you this time? Can you say something, Chantal?
Cheers.
No, we still can't hear you. Oh my goodness, what has happened? It worked so well earlier.
Yeah.
She's fiddling with buttons and all sorts, and it was working very well. We had a little sound check with her I think it was about an hour and a half ago now, actually, and it was all working very well. And now it's not. What a shame.
Oh, dear.
I don't think it's anything that we can do this end. So something is not working. Oh, she's gone again.
Well, what, guys, we could do is we all have a copy of a book, so we could have a chat between ourselves and while we're waiting to see if Chantal can connect.
Well, what's the book that you've got, Tracy?
Well, I've got this one, which I love this. I like how dark this one looks, my dark side. This is called The Zombie and His Existential Crisis. And I believe this is actually a book that Chantal has written, and it's more targeted towards perhaps the young adult age group. And it's got, she titles it herself as the weirdest beep that you'll ever read. So that's written across the and it's a story about a zombie in search of the meaning of life. So this one is available. I actually got this one, I think it was on Amazon, but I also believe you can buy these on bol.com. So if people are in the Netherlands, they can also use that. And I think also these books are now for sale at Euler Concept Store right here in Maastricht as well. So
I believe so. Chantal is back with us. Let's see if we can hear her this time. No, she's disappeared. That was very close. Okay.
Yeah.
We shall try. Maybe we should try one more time and see if we can actually get her speaking. Otherwise, we might have to look at doing this another time. Oh, what a shame. We're having some guest issues this evening. It would appear.
It just wasn't meant to be, I think. Yeah.
Right, can we hear you, Chantal? Oh, no, she's back again. I don't think we can hear her, no. Why is that? How very strange.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the volume.
It was working perfectly earlier. Yeah, you haven't turned the volume down, have you, while you were watching the show on your phone or anything? Or I know that sounds obvious.
Can hear us, can she?
No, maybe she can't even hear us.
No.
No? Okay. Well, we'll leave her to fiddle with her buttons. I will say though, I have the latest one that arrived, which is Romanticize Your Life, a 28-day challenge. Now, I haven't done any of this as yet because I've only just got it, but it seems to be there's all kinds of challenges that you've got here, and then you write down how the challenges went, and I think I get the impression with this that these are all quite attainable. These are easily things to do, but there are a lot of these things we put on a bucket list, and we just don't do them, you know. They just kind of go on a list. You think, oh yeah, I'll do that one day, and then you never get around to doing them, and this kind of forces you to actually do them. We've just had a message that Chantal still can't even hear us, so it's all very strange. And we've just had a message, sounds like we're actually having an existential crisis.
You may be right. Oh, it's like we've got the bloody Halloween goblins back again or something.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, it's such a shame. It's such a shame. So, okay, well, just to give you an idea of the different challenges that you've got here, I'll just run through a few. So you're going from 1 to 28, and you have, just to show you on here, it gives you the different days and the different tasks that you have to do, and then you have a page where it's asking you to paste pictures of the tasks you've completed, for example here on day 5, and maybe share a picture on social media about what you've done. So this one, for example, is day 5. There's a couple of tasks for day 5. This one is dress nice, feel nice. When we dress well, we feel good. So whether you'll be staying at home or go to work or running some errands or meeting with a friend, put on your best outfit. Make yourself look extra fabulous and take the time to adore yourself in the mirror.
Oh.
So you're all dressed up, make the most of it. Take some congratulations, you're a wonderful human, beautiful human being. That's nice. Have fun with friends, that's on day 10. Choose one or more of the following tasks. Go dancing. Play drinking or card games. Okay. Yeah. Play charades. Cook together. Go to a casino. Binge watch a series together with wearing onesies. Well, you've got me on onesies. I do love a onesie.
You do.
Make new memories with your friends. Volunteer or donate to a charity. That's a very good one as well. That's on day 13. take pet food to the animal shelter and walk the doggies.
Very good one.
Yes. Read to the elderly. Have someone plant a tree for you on treedom.net. So there's all kinds of things here, and you know what? I can imagine some people look at this and go, oh, really? But do you know, if you push yourself actually and you follow this, I think at the end of the 28 days you'll feel quite accomplished, because there is an awful lot of stuff there that I know that we maybe used to do and don't bother doing anymore. You know, you kind of get weighed down with life and relationships and family and all kinds of things. You know, there's a lot of things here I look at and think, yeah, you know, when I was in my 20s, I used to do that, and it just doesn't happen.
I hear you guys. Finally,
Chantal, at last, we've got you.
I couldn't hear a thing. I was like, what's going on? I am so bad when it comes to technology. I'm always I put my curse on you guys, so I'm gonna remove right back. So
oh, well, it's so nice to have you here at last. We got rid of the gremlins in the phone, so we're all good. You can hear us, we can hear you. You'll have missed what we've been chatting about. I was just going through some of the tasks that you've got in your latest book. Matt's got a copy of your first book, Magic. Tracy's got a copy of Zombie and the Existential Crisis going on there. Oh my goodness, you've been a busy girl. What's been happening with you during this year, during lockdown?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the support. Like, I feel like so like so thank you so much for that. I've been keeping busy because I think lockdown has been hard on all of us, or most of us. And in order for me to just, make sure that I keep myself focused, I was working on some projects. So I finished the Zombie and his Existential Crisis, and then I decided to do something a little extra for all the ladies, especially the single ladies. And then I wrote Romanticize Your Life, the 28-day challenge. So I've just been keeping busy, and currently I'm making corona-proof Christmas decorations.
Oh.
I have no idea what that means.
That's a surprise. Revealed later. So I've been keeping myself busy with all kinds of arts and crafts. And this year has been challenging, but it's also been really good. I feel that I've grown a lot as a person, and I've also worked a lot on myself and my mental health. So I feel that now in November, I'm quite at a good place in my life. So it's actually going surprisingly well. Yeah.
That's fantastic news. That's wonderful. But tell us a little bit more about romanticizing your life. What does that mean?
Now, I think like lots of people, you think I will be happy when my life will start, when, I have the boyfriend, I have the house, I have the cat. Especially for me, cats are very important. I would love to have a cat.
Yes.
But one of the things that I did to help me during my battle with my mental health was to try to appreciate the little things in life, to try to make the ordinary extraordinary. And there's this quote that I use in the book. I'm not exactly sure who said it, but it's when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I try to practice myself, where I take ordinary or mediocre little moments in life, and I try to make it a little bit more special. But the book is also divided into 4 chapters. So the first few days, you're going to work on loving yourself. Then you're going to work on loving others. And then you're going to work on loving your world. And then you're going to start working on loving your life. Because in order to love your life, you have to love your world. And if you want to love your world, you have to love others. And in order to love others, you have to love yourself. Okay. So basically, it's not really a self-help book. It's more a self-love book, because the main theme in the book is self-love, and to just really love yourself so that you can love others and your world and your life. So that is the point of the 28-day challenge.
Well, it's funny you should say actually that you were thinking of the single ladies out there. But I said before, actually, while you were pressing buttons feverishly trying to get onto the show, we were talking about your books, and I happen to say, for me, as an older woman in a long-term relationship, I can actually look at this and think, you know what, when I was in my 20s, I did some of this stuff, and then I stopped doing it. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with maybe me picking up this book and saying, do you know what, I'm going to revisit some of the things that I used to do, or do some different things, and maybe put a bit of a sparkle into my life as well, actually.
Yeah, that's quite. It's nice to hear you say that, because obviously I'm a single woman at the moment, so I obviously wrote it from my perspective. But it makes me really happy to hear that, you know, people in relationships can also benefit from this book. So yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
Matt, do you feel like romanticizing your life?
I mean, I didn't really enjoy Whitney Houston's like love problems and love songs. I'm not sure. I probably need it, to be honest. It's like clearly repressing something.
Do you know what? I mean, as I said, I haven't done the challenge yet, but I've flicked through, and what I've seen basically is this is just putting a little bit of extra oomph into your day, a little bit of sparkle, a little something to look forward to, a little challenge that at the end of the day you say, yeah, I've done that. And then you can tick it off and you can write about it. So it doesn't, I think really, yes, guys can look at this and say, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to cook something. I'm going to donate something. I'm going to buy a stranger a cup of coffee. I mean, yeah, you don't have to be young, female and single to do that, for example.
Yeah.
But tell us, Chantal, you've done this book. You've done your zombie book. You did magic. When was that? Was it about 3 years ago now?
Yeah, that was about in 2017, so about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's about 3 years ago. So I think we can definitely say you are a successful writer now. What is next for you in writing? Have you got another book up your sleeve?
Actually, every time I finish a book, I say I'm never going to write a book again. After I magic, I said never again. It's too lonely. It takes up too much of my time. I said never again. And then I got the idea for the Zombie Existential Crisis, which is like a metaphor for people struggling with mental health issues, especially depression. But it's not a depressing book. It's written in a funny, humorous way. But after I wrote that book, I was like, never again. I'm never writing another book again. And then I got the idea for Romanticize Your Life. But now, once again, I feel like never again I'm going to write a book. So at the moment, I'm not thinking about writing another book, to be honest. But yeah, who knows what the future holds? Maybe tonight I have a dream about something fantastical and I decide to write, I don't know, a horror novel tomorrow. So who knows?
Fantastic. Well, I don't think we can stop you. I'm sure there's another book or 10 in you there somewhere. For anybody who wants to get hold of Romanticize Your Life, I believe, as Tracy said, you can get it at Euler.
Yes.
And you can get it online?
Yes, on Amazon and on, I think it's also on bol.com. But on all the Amazon stores, my books are available, indeed. And then at Euler's Concept Store in Maastricht.
Excellent stuff. Yeah. And I believe there's also a Romanticize Your Life Instagram page as well. So you can follow people's progress on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, it's been... It was lovely to see you, Chantal, eventually. We've had loads of messages coming flying in. We've got Michelle, we've got Eric, Adina, loads of people saying hello, lovely to see you. In fact, when it looked like we couldn't get you at one point, somebody said we should file a petition to get her on next week. So the fans are out there, that's for sure. So we will get you on again for the next book.
Yeah.
And good luck with the COVID-related Christmas decorations. I mean, this all sounds a bit odd, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what they are. But it's been an odd year, let's be honest. It's been, as I say, it's been great to see you, Chantal. If anybody out there wants to get hold of these books, highly recommend it. Get online. Maybe pop into Euler, go and see Petra. If you buy a book, you'll buy something else as well, because it's a fantastic store. We'll see you soon, Chantal. Thanks ever so much for joining us.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Oh,
Bless her. Well, that was a little stressful to start with, but we got there eventually. We're good at improvising. We have to be on this show. Right, we haven't got much time left, so we're going to have to whiz through the end of the show here. Matt, what have you got for us? We also have an announcement, don't we, that's tied in with you, Matt?
Yes.
Okay, We just wanted to say a hello to Meet Maastricht, who have recently joined us as partners here on the Maastricht edition. Meet Maastricht, they offer loads of interesting historic tours that go on around Maastricht. Under normal circumstances, of course, you would physically be walking or biking around Maastricht with them. At the moment, we can't do that, but they do have this fantastic podcast that is on every single week with loads of history about Maastricht. It's really, really interesting. And they've joined forces with us. So now Matt, when he goes Dutch every week, he's going to be delving into their podcast and producing some interesting stories about Maastricht. So welcome to the family, Meet Maastricht. It's lovely to have you on board. Hopefully we will have somebody from Meet Maastricht come on the show soon and tell us more about the podcast. But in the meantime, Matt, what have you got for us?
Well, I took a look at, if you looked at our Instagram page on Monday, you'll see I posted a picture of the theatre in Maastricht, and I asked everyone, do you recognise this building? And of course, if you live in Maastricht or you've been there quite often, it's very recognisable, you know exactly where it is. But this building was not actually always a theatre. And there's a whole podcast dedicated to the history of this building on the Meet Maastricht podcast. I can't remember exactly which number it is, but if you go on their website and have a look, you'll quickly find it, you'll see the picture. But originally, this building was only built in the 1800s. And before that, it was the site of a religious order of nuns called the Wittevrouwen Order. So if anybody lives the other side of the bridge in Maastricht, Wittenfrauenfeld, I think they're also linked to the order. That was also part of the monastery, the convent. So this convent was there from the 1200s to about the 1800s, and then the French came in and sort of didn't like anything religious, so got rid of a lot of the institutions. And eventually it was sold and knocked down, and in its place this building was built in 1803 by Petrus Franciscus de Coulinier, who was a local, I think he was an industrialist, like a really wealthy merchant, and he made his money from selling cigars and lots of different products. So he built this grand neoclassical mansion, which is what we see today, and it was a house, so he actually just lived there in this huge house, him and his family. But he didn't live there very long. He lived there for a few years, and then a bit later it was purchased by a very controversial character in Maastricht's history, which is General Dibbet, General Baron Dibbet. Do you know anything about him? Anyone?
No.
Anyone heard of him?
No.
So he's very controversial because during the Belgian Revolution in 1830, when the Netherlands and Belgium were part of the same country under the Dutch king, the Belgians decided, no, we don't want this anymore, we're going to revolt. So they revolted in 1830, became an independent country. So of course, if anybody looks at a map of the Netherlands, they'll quite clearly see that there's a very strange arm with Maastricht at the bottom. And you say, well, how did that happen? Why is this such strange? Well, it's a lot to do with General Dibbet, because he decided, no, Maastricht's going to stay Dutch, we're going to stay away. The Belgians can go away, we're going to stay Dutch, we're going to keep it for the king.
Ooh.
But actually, the city, the Maastrichtenaren, they wanted to be Belgian. They wanted to be part of this new revolution and get rid of the Dutch king. But General Dibbet was like, no, we're staying Dutch. And he made sure that Maastricht stayed Dutch, and the province of Limburg also, I think, was part of his influence. They stayed Dutch. And so when he died, the king gave him a tomb, which was, I can't remember exactly where it was. But because the Maastrichtenaren hated him, then in the 1920s, this tomb was moved and it was built over. So currently, General Dibbet's body, I think, is still behind the Muziekgieterij. So, you know, behind the Muziekgieterij, there's the park, which used to be a very busy road, very busy junction. And his body is there, tomb's been removed, and he's underneath a traffic light. It's now where he's buried in, because he's that unpopular. So that was a very, very roundabout way of telling you about the theatre, which actually only became a theatre in the 1990s after General Dibbet left the building, and for several years in between it was used for various different functions, but it actually only became a theatre in the 1990s when it was added, the theatre at the back was added. So yeah, there you go. Very confusing story.
Fascinating stuff. And you know,
I have one more thing to tell you.
Yes.
the what do you call it, Open Monument Dag,
Yeah.
which would normally be around this time this year, I think, has sadly been scrapped by the city council. And there's a petition by our lovely Lucy from Maastricht, who are trying to get it to be refunded again. So if you want Open Monument Dag to be refunded and continue, it's really interesting. It's a great day out. Do find the petition online. I'm sure we'll share it after the show, and you can support them.
Very good. Yes.
Worthy cause indeed. Well, that's brilliant, Matt. And if people want to delve into this story a bit more, they can listen to the podcast, of course, on Meet Maastricht. They've got loads of them. I think it's about 30 or so of them or something like that.
Yeah, and they keep making them.
They keep making them every week. So if you want to know more about the history of Maastricht, then delve into Meet Maastricht. Lucy and the gang there are producing these fantastic podcasts. And at some point, they will actually be going back to these physical tours that they were doing before. They're a great bunch. And Lucy, I mean, she knows so much about Maastricht. She really does.
Walking encyclopedia.
Oh no, she's astonishing. We've had her on the show a few times, and you ask her anything about Maastricht. Oh yeah, well, blah 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 blah. You're like, what? How does she? Amazing, absolutely amazing. So, good job, absolutely brilliant. Right, we're running out of time. Tracy, what have you got for us before we leave?
Okay, well, a very quick roundup. I am delighted to be able to bring you guys a weekly segment of highlights courtesy of #Maastricht. These are the folks in the know about things going on in the city. 3 quick ones that Denise submitted earlier today. Chateau Near Khan, very fancy, are now doing takeaway food.
Who is he?
I know. So if you fancy something a little bit more fancy, you have to order. There's a different menu each week, and you need to order before. And you drive by, pick it up, come home, and set out your beautiful, fabulous food. So Chateau Near Khan. Also Le Souk. It's a Moroccan shop that sells lots of things like olives and salads and really.
They do great. What do you call it? Falafel. They do great falafel.
Sandwiches, all this type of stuff. Now, they don't have a website or anything like that, so you have to actually walk by. It's old school. They're on the Maastrichter Heidenstraat, which is quite close to the Vrijthof and the Onze Lieve Vrouwplein. It's in the centre of the old town, but it's really worth a shot. And the lovely lady behind the counter will always give you a little taster of an olive or a piece of cheese before you buy, and you get a little bit extra in the pot. So definitely worth passing by. Lovely family-run business there. And lastly, former guest on the show, Eclair Fair. They are on the Kesselkade in Maastricht. So the quote is made by her and sold by him. So this is a married couple, and they're offering lovely exclusive Parisian style eclairs, so you can feel like a true Parisian right here in Maastricht. Matt, just like Emily in Paris. So,
okay.
Netflix, Joe, you really do.
I know. But excellent stuff. Well, there is some life in Maastricht. We know that there's these businesses out there that still need our support. So please do utilise their takeaway and the delivery. Get on, support your local business, South Limburg, on Facebook. Because there's a fantastic group where there's loads of posts on a daily basis of all the local businesses that are being promoted with all their takeaways and deliveries that are going on. So, and websites, of course, and online services, classes, all kinds of stuff. So go and have a look at that. So great stuff. Lovely job, Tracy. Well, that's it. We've come to the end of the show. We've run over a little bit today because we had a few technical issues trying to get Chantal on, but we persevered. We did, and we got her on in the end. So thank you very much for that, Chantal. We shall all be back next week. I can't for the life remember who's on next week, but I'm sure they'll be wonderful, whoever they are. Have a wonderful week, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Thursday. Thanks ever so much. Good night. Bye.